The film begins 17 years ago on an island called St. Hopper, and there is a research laboratory on the island in which they modify the genes of dinosaurs. In the laboratory, we see a scientist entering the laboratory, and his colleague opens it for him. But after entering, we notice a malfunction in an internal door inside the laboratory, and it does not close, so the alarm works, and everyone escapes quickly. The laboratory door closes on one of them, and his colleague tries to open the door but stands scared as she sees the dinosaur appear behind her imprisoned colleague. Her colleague asks her to open the door quickly, but she is afraid and apologizes to him, and the dinosaur eats it. We move on to the present, and we know that 32 years have passed since the dinosaurs returned to life, and they are located in an island area at the equator. The government is preventing approaching that area. We see Krebs in his car and the road is crowded with flowers in the car. We know from their words that Krebs has a private drug development company, and he wants to make a secret mission for the tropical islands to collect blood samples from dinosaurs, as his company will help develop a medicine through these samples. We know that there is someone who was falsely nominated for this mission because she was from the Special Operations Forces, and when Zor hears that Krebs wants to go to the tropical islands, she shows no interest and gets out of the car to walk. Krebs comes out behind her and tries to convince her that he wants to collect dinosaur blood samples to develop a drug that helps people. Zor continues to pay attention until he hears her say that she will have a reward behind this mission. She asks him for the amount, and he tells her that it will be 7 trips, and she will be able to live rich for the rest of her life, in exchange for going with him on the mission. False agreement immediately. They then go to the dinosaur museum and talk to Henry, a doctor who is an expert in dinosaurs. Henry knows about the mission, as Krebs spoke to him before. Henry explains to Lazor the purpose of the mission and tells her that they will collect 3 samples of 3 species of dinosaurs: marine dinosaurs, phytanical dinosaurs, and flying dinosaurs. The samples they will collect will be used to develop the drug that Krebs is working on. Because the mission is secret, Krebs wants them to go themselves without the army or other security personnel. When Henry hears that Krebs wants to go with them, he is surprised because he thought his opinion would be taken in the task. But he does not agree because the subject is dangerous. Zor tries to convince him and tell him that he has never seen a real dinosaur up close before, and that this is an adventure that happens only once in a lifetime. Because Henry loves dinosaurs so much, he agrees to go with them. Immediately they go to the 4th person, Duncan, and talk to him about the mission. Despite his previous agreement, he now refuses, saying that the mission is dangerous and could be a danger to their lives. Zor tries to convince him to go by provoking him, and tells him that she will be the one who believes in the safety of the team, and that he will be a coward if he does not go. You manage to convince him, but they have to go with his boat, and join them by his assistant Bobby, who will help him secure their safety. Krebs agrees with that. Then they gather the team and start the mission with the boat in the ocean. With them is the captain of the boat and his assistant Nina. In the driver's room, Krebs tells them that they will head to the islands at the equator. Bobby shows them the weapon with neurotoxins that they will use to defend themselves if the dinosaurs attack them. Henry says they are not the target of the dinosaurs. Bobby replies that they will not use poison unless they have to defend themselves. However, Henry is not comfortable. We leave them and go to another boat in the ocean with a family on a cruise. We get to know Father Robin talking to his young daughter Eliza, and his eldest daughter Teresa appears after she wakes up from sleep, and her boyfriend comes out behind her. Teresa notices the presence of a finned creature in the water, and it turns out that this creature is the sea dinosaur. So it collides with their boat and flips it in the water. They hold on to the inverted boat and sit on it, sending a radio distress message to any nearby ship that helps them. The next morning, the team hears a distress message on the radio, and they know that the family is miles away. Everyone is arguing, and Krebs and Bobby don't want to change the direction of the flight to save the family, and Krebs says it's certain that someone else will hear the radio message and save them. But Zor says they should help the family and go to them. Then Duncan makes the decision, and they decide to go to their rescue. We go back to the family. They are still sitting on the boat, and when they see the team's boat approaching, they are very happy that someone to save them has finally arrived. In the command room on the boat, they know that a marine dinosaur attacked their boat, and they hear about their mission, but the family does not understand its nature. Krebs doesn't tell them the details of the mission, and tells them that they will go to the island to collect some things and then come back. Meanwhile, the sea dinosaur swims near the boat, seeing it as a suitable opportunity, and preparing to collect the first sample of it. The injected weapon goes out to aim the syringe at him, and waits until a distance of 10 meters approaches him to hit him. The first syringe hits the target, but asks Henry to get her a second injection. Henry brings the syringe and installs it in the gun, and when the dinosaur approaches again, he is falsely hit by the syringe. After collecting the sample, the syringe bounces and flies in the air and Duncan grabs it. With this, they have collected the first sample and feel very happy. Henry then talks to Zor in private and tells her that after collecting samples and developing the drug, Krebs will not make the drug available to everyone, but will be intended only for the rich. Zor tells him that she did not think about it, and her job is not to think about it, and all she wants is to finish the task and get her reward. A little later, they see another type of dinosaur swimming around their boat. Bobby shoots them to keep them away, although there's no need to. The dinosaur attacks Bobby in the water, taking him with him to the water, and he dies. They increase the speed of the boat towards the rocks because the dinosaurs are chasing them. Duncan wants to guide the boat into the shallow waters so that the dinosaurs can't catch up with them. But the rocks can hit the boat and drown it. Robin asks his daughter, Teresa, to quickly enter the cockpit room and send a help message. But Krebs goes behind her and stops her because this is a secret trip and they don't want anyone to know anything about it. Teresa tries to push him away. She slides back and grabs the edge of the boat before falling into the water. Krebs calls for her help, but he doesn't move. Robin sees her falling into the water, so her boyfriend jumps behind her to save her, and Robin jumps with his little daughter Eliza because the boat may crash because of the rocks. They all jump out of the boat. Duncan continues to drive the boat until it reaches the beach. At the same time, Zephyr is with his girlfriend Teresa in the water, and she tells him that Krebs tried to kill her on the boat. They find Robin and Eliza and they gather. At that time, Krebs arrived on the island alone, arriving with Henry after they survived the dinosaur attack. After a while on the beach, a dinosaur attacks Nina, helping the captain, eats her and takes her to the water. Duncan is shocked as he sees her death. We go back to Robin's family as they enter a cave on the island and see the beautiful ruins of the island. As for Krebs, he knows that the island is called St. Hopper, and it had a secret laboratory in which they developed dinosaur genes. But the experiment got out of control, and the dinosaurs escaped from the laboratory. The government decided to withdraw from the island and leave it to the dinosaurs to live on. Everyone is upset with Krebs because he didn't tell them about this before the trip, and he hid it from them. But Zora is determined to complete the task to take her reward, and tells them that there is no need to hesitate. So she moves herself to go behind her to collect the remaining 2 samples. Then, as they move on the island, they hear the sound of dinosaurs and large plant-eating dinosaurs appear. Zor and Henry are preparing to aim the injection on them, and because Henry knows that these dinosaurs are not harmful, he approaches them and touches a man for a dinosaur. So he is impressed because he touches a real dinosaur for the first time in his life. The syringe is falsely aimed at the dinosaur and collects the sample, and the syringe then bounces and flies, and Duncan grabs it. With this, they had collected the second sample, and only the third sample of the flying dinosaur remained. We go back to Robin's family, who arrived at a place on the island, and Teresa sees a broken boat on the other side, so she decides to cross and go to it herself. Maybe she will find something to help them. While there, she finds a sleeping dinosaur and avoids making any sound, and enters the broken boat cabin, and finds a rubber boat in a suitcase, so she takes it with her and pulls it into the water. You feel afraid that any sound may awaken the sleeping dinosaur. Although her father and lover Zafir signal her not to open the rubber boat, Teresa opens it and the boat makes a sound. Then you notice that the dinosaur has disappeared. After a while, the dinosaur appears drinking water. So Teresa moves by boat and goes to them, and they ride with her and Badaloo quickly to get away from the dinosaur. But he pays attention to them and follows them in the water, turning the boat over with them. So they swim with the current and manage to gather again, but Elizabeth is hidden. They hear her voice under the inverted rubber boat, and the boat at that moment heads towards the dinosaur, which lifts it with its jaw. They think Elizabeth is dead, but she appears in the water and swims towards them. The dinosaur tries to catch up with it and eat it, but it reaches them and survives among the rocks, and the dinosaur cannot cross it. Leaving them and walking away, the rubber boat appears in front of them from under the water. So they rejoice because they survived the dinosaur attack and that the boat is with them. We go back to the team as they go up to a high place to shoot the injection at the flying dinosaur. They use ropes to go down to where the dinosaur is inside its nest. Henry takes the syringe containing the third sample of an egg. At that moment, the dinosaur reaches its nest, and Zor and Henry try to evade and get away from him because he is trying to kill them. At this moment, The captain makes a sound from outside to attract the attention of the dinosaur and comes out to him. The captain calls out to Duncan and Krebs to pull the rope and quickly pull them out. But unfortunately, Henry pulls the rope and falls from above. But luckily he falls into the water. Everyone comes down from above and puts the third sample they have collected in the bag. At the same time, Robin's family is on the rubber boat rowing in shallow water, leaving the boat and walking towards the laboratory. The team arrives at the laboratory and they notice footprints, so they know that Robin's family is close to them, so they call them falsely. Krebs tells her that there is no time, and he does not want to look for them, but Zora was determined to find them and call them until they find them. When she sees Teresa Krebs, she gets angry and tells him that he would have killed her on the boat. But Krebs is holding a gun in his hand and denies trying to push her, accusing her of lying. He takes the bag of samples from Zora and tells everyone that they will wait for a helicopter to arrive to pick them up from the island without problems. Suddenly, the place lights up because the electric generator is turned on with the LED system. The place lights up at night, and the dinosaurs appear in the place, trying to escape quickly. Robin's family enters an abandoned supermarket, and they close the door on them. Henry and Duncan enter the lab and close the door behind them. A dinosaur can enter the supermarket via the heating system. The Robin family is hiding. Robin notices the presence of a glow descending into underground tunnels, and they descend before the arrival of the dinosaur. They start moving in the underground corridors. At the same time, Duncan knows that there are underground tunnels that lead to an emergency boat on the island's shore. He sees the helicopter in the sky, and Duncan asks Henry to attract the attention of the plane. Duncan leaves the place to look for Robin's family to bring them. As for Krebs, he drives his car and runs away alone, leaving Falsely, who hides quickly. She sees a dinosaur entering from the drain swage into underground tunnels, moving behind him because she heard the voice of the Robin family in the corridors. Henry tries to get the plane's attention by hitting a fire to see him, but the plane attacks and destroys the hands of the dinosaur. Moments later, Duncan hears the voice of the Robin family underground, ordering Henry to go down quickly into the tunnel and also descends. They hide from the dinosaur, and Duncan tells everyone that the tunnels lead to the emergency boat, and they move together. At the same time, they falsely move in the tunnels, and their voices are heard, and they strike a fire on the dinosaur that is chasing them and hit it, and they head to the exit. They arrive at the gate, but it's closed, and they can't pass through it. The Elizabeth girl passes through the gate rails because of her small size, and goes to open the gate from the outside. A large dinosaur appears, but he doesn't notice Elizabeth as she opens the gate. At the same moment, Krebs arrives in his car, attacking the Krebs dinosaur and eating it. Falsely takes the sample bag, and the team moves quickly towards the emergency boat. The dinosaur approaches Eliza, and Duncan distracts the dinosaur with the torch and pulls it towards it. He succeeds, jumps into the water, and is followed by the dinosaur, giving the team a chance to run the lifeboat and get away from it. They board and operate the boat, moving away from the dinosaur that does not catch up with them. Zor feels sad for Duncan, who sacrificed himself for them. At that moment, they see a flame in the sky and realize that it was Duncan who lit it. They look for him and find him still alive in the water. So they take him with them on the boat and leave the island. When Zor asks Henry who to deliver the samples in their possession, Henry gives her the option to decide for herself. Zor decided to give the samples to everyone, not to a private company like Crips, so that everyone can benefit from them. They see a swarm of dolphins swimming by the boat, so they feel happy and relieved that they survived, and here the movie ends. Don't forget to leave the like if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Bye, and see you in the next film recaps.